I tell you, I cannot be more proud of an organization or happy to support it. And I think those of us here, we all are lucky to have families. But if you don't, and you're out there, who's your family? Generally, it's going to be a pet. We need to help them.
Hello, and welcome to Give a Dog a Bone. I'm Genevieve Frederick, the founder of Feeding Pets of the Homeless. Find out more about our mission and the animals we've helped. Hear the stories of insiders, volunteers, and leaders about why we do what we do and how you can make a difference. It's all here on Give a Dog a Bone. Welcome to this episode of Give a Dog a Bone. I'd like to introduce everyone to Barbara Daneo. She's a friend and a supporter of Feeding Pets of the Homeless since 2008. Barbara, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with Feeding Pets of the Homeless?
Well, thank you, Jen. I live in Carson City, been here 19 years, came from California in the Bay Area. I have a cabin in the Lake Tahoe Basin since 1928, and we loved coming through Carson City on our way to Reno when we had cabin fever so we could shop at the new Macy's. Anyway, all the years, I was married to my husband 61 years, and in those years, we had at least 2 dogs at a time, because we wanted them to have socialization with another animal, and we wanted them to be together when we were out. So we didn't want to have any difficulties. We have loved animals all our lives. Well, when we moved here, I joined the local Rotary Club because I came from a Rotary Club in Berkeley. And they were so nice and so kind. And Genevieve was one of the members. And she mentioned Pets of the Homeless, and we got to talking about animals and how much I loved him. I then got involved with the fish, Friends in Service Helping, and they feed the homeless and people who need to have a meal or a shower or that sort of thing. And I'm on that board. And I'm also on the Rotary boards. And then I got involved with the city, and I currently am the chair of the Carson City Arts and Culture Commission. So that's a pretty busy thing. And this morning I was on a board meeting at WNC, Western Nevada College, was the foundation board meeting. So I'm a busy person in this town. And I formerly was with the Brewery Arts Center. I chaired the foundation at Carson Tahoe Hospital. And I believe because my husband and family made it possible, and I had the desire to get involved in the community. And I think if you can, and when you can, it's almost a duty or obligation from my point of view to help in your local community. Jen was in the, I guess, early stages of Pets of the Homeless, starting it up. And I remember having a conversation with you one day about winter was coming. And those people who lived on the streets, of course, they have animals. These animals and pets save their lives. This is their family. If they went into a shelter in the snow and the cold, they couldn't take their animals, which was a really difficult situation. And it turns out my family, my husband's family, has a charitable foundation called the CARES Fund. And the CARES Fund is a small family foundation. We meet twice a year. It's only the blood relative who can serve on the board, not the in-law like me. So, but I was steeped in non-for-profits, et cetera, et cetera. And we brought up to them the whole situation of this dilemma for having some place for these people to have their pets. Well, Genevieve told us that there was what do you want to call it? I don't want to say a cage. There was a little shelter, a collapsible piece that could open up. The dog, cat, or whatever could be in there. And then when they left in the morning, they could fold them up and keep them where they were sheltering. So we liked it. The family loved it because we're all pet lovers. And so we helped through the foundation to acquire some of those so that they would have it. And I understand, Genevieve, that you have them now going into other places, or other cities have done the same thing, because this is a real plus when you're talking about the animals. I love the fact that at the fish, people drop off dog food, people drop off when they lose a pet, all the accoutrement that goes with it, et cetera, et cetera. So the help is there. And I know a lot of the vets in town, and they all put their time in to do help for these folks, the yearly exams, if they need surgeries, if they have an issue, they are there to help. And I tell you, I cannot be more proud of an organization or happy to support it. And I think those of us here, we all are lucky to have families. But if you don't, and you're out there, who's your family? Generally, it's going to be a pet. We need to help them. And so I am a staunch supporter. We just recently gave another donation because Genevieve asked for a specific thing. And the family said, oh, yeah. So we're helping again. And we will continue. As long as I'm up, standing up and breathing, we will be helping. So I hope that answers your question. I'm not quite sure how involved you wanted me to get, but that's kind of my story.
Barb, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your input. Um, the Family Foundation has stepped forward and have been very generous in allowing us to purchase these metal collapsible crates that we have shipped out to homeless shelters across the country. We've now shipped out over 250 of these crates to 12 different states. And so now we know that these animals have a place to go when it's hot, when it's cold. I just drove one of a very large crate that was donated here in Carson City. I drove it up to the CARE campus in Reno. It's a huge homeless encampment that the city put up. I don't want to say how many beds, but I know it's in the hundreds, but they do allow pets. So my husband and I drove up there and took that crate as well as a bunch of pet food. When you talked about fish, a lot of our donation sites here in Carson City call fish, and their van goes by and picks it up. Once a year, I have to tell you that a local Chevrolet dealer in town has a month-long pet food drive, and they fill the back of a big brand new pickup truck. And then at the end of the month, Fish's van comes and picks up all of that pet food, and it's thousands of pounds. And then they take it back, and all that food is distributed to low income as well as the homeless that are in this area. So we're very proud of that. And I am very thankful to Barbara and her family. Barbara donates personally, and then their family also donates once a year specifically for the crates that become the property of the shelters, so that they can be used over and over again. Because a homeless person isn't going to leave with a crate and drag it behind them, especially if it's one of those very large crates. And some of those crates are over $100 for the metal crates, because we need to be collapsible and they need to be sterilized between visits, because some of these dogs have mange and other diseases that could be transferred over to another animal.
If you don't mind, I'd like to add something to this. I'm on Facebook, and I recently had a birthday. And so I did that thing, say, please donate to Pets of the Homeless. Don't send me a card or whatever. Donate to Pets of the Homeless. And anybody who wants to do that, that is such fun. And I hope that you received That's it. And it went over my a lot. I said what I wanted to have donated. So I was pretty thrilled with that one. I have been so pleased with the support of the veterinarians, with the support of professional people who have helped. And I think to just reiterate what these professionals are doing for Pets of the Homeless and why their people's donations are so important. How about that one, Jen?
That's great. You're right, Barb. Hospitals across the country discounted over $66,000 worth of their services. We paid about $350,000 to various hospitals across the country. Right now, we have 1,119 hospitals that we are working with across the country in every state and in over 600 cities. So when a homeless person calls us and their animal is injured or ill, if we can't find a hospital that's already in our network, we will start cold calling because most of these people do not have transportation. I can't ask them to walk 10 miles to a hospital that's in our network. So what we'll do is we'll find out exactly where that person is, and then our staff start cold calling until we find a hospital that will help us to help this person. Now, the hospitals are usually more than welcome, and they want to help because that's what they're in business for. And they know that we're going to pay them at time of service. Yeah, we expect some kind of a discount, but sometimes when a dog's been hit by a car and the bill is going to be $5,000, we give them as much as we can, and then they write off the rest of it. It's such a wonderful, heartwarming mission that we have, that every day I can go home and I know that I've helped, that we have helped somebody's family member, a furry family member, whether it's a cat, a dog. Sometimes they're not so furry. I mean, we've helped birds and reptiles. So yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I get emotional about our mission.
It's wonderful to hear. And it's the reason why you've earned and deserve the support because of the wonderful work that is being done for who I consider family members. These pets are your family. The studies showing that just putting your hands on the fur of an animal, what it will do to you internally. They are a godsend to all of us that we have the opportunity to have these wonderful creatures. And it's amazing to me to see different types of animals who bond together, kind of not like humans. And sometimes I think that the critters, I call them, are smarter than we are. And I have a lot of respect for animals. And that's why I am so happy to be an A-line supporter of Pets of the Homeless. Love it.
Thank you again, Barbara, for joining us today on Give a Dog a Bone. Thank you so much for your support and your compassion to pets everywhere. Bye now. You've been listening to Give a Dog a Bone, brought to you by Feeding Pets of the Homeless. If you've enjoyed the show, help us by leaving us a 5-star review. It really helps new listeners find the show. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on social media and the web at petsofthehomeless.org. I've been your host, Genevieve. Until next time, thanks for listening.